welcome back. In this video, we are going to see what is a inner class. We have seen inner class before a class within a class. So we are going to see what are the advantages and how a outer class member or method can access inner class variable. And we are also going to see a special feature of Java called garbage collection, which makes Java different from other languages. And finally, we are going to see two methods. One is finalize, other one is GC method. So let us see this one by one. First one is inner class. We have seen this before. Normally, inner class have access to all the variables and methods in the outer class. So please remember what is the outer class and what is the inner class. The class within the class we call it as inner class, and inner class have access to the variables and methods in the outer class. This is the first point you should remember. But the reverse is not true. That means the outer class methods cannot access the methods and data members inside the inner class directly. They cannot access directly this without creating an object which cannot access. Next, please remember an inner class should be created only within the scope of outer class. Otherwise, your Java is going to give an error. Excuse me. So let us see the first class called inner class, where you can find a class called outer. So this is a class outer. This is stands for the outer class, where it starts here and which ends here. It has got a single method called display. So inside the display method, we have created an object of the class called inner. What is this inner? This inner is nothing but your inner class. So I'm talking about this. So we have got two classes, outer and inner. Inside the outer class of a method called display, this method is going to access a member which belongs to the inner class. But what did I say? This outer class cannot access the member of inner class directly without creating an object. So we have created an object called in. Using this in, we are going to access it. So in dot show, which is going to invoke this method. So which can we cannot write directly without in. We cannot write this directly, which is going to throw an error. So cannot directly access member of inner class. So please remember it. Okay. So let us see this program completely. So this is only the first class. Now we need to write a class which contains the main method. So I've written another class. So the class name is test. This is what the this is what my main method, where I've created an object of the class outer. I call it as OT. So and this is going to be the constructor. But if you take my outer class which does not have any constructor, by default this is going to take the default constructor. Now using this outer class object, I will call the method in the outer class. What is my outer class object? Display is a method which is there in the outer class. So outer class, and this is a method. So this is going to invoke the display method. Inside the display, as I told, there is an object for my inner class. I'm talking about this class I've created, and using the object I have accessed the method. So finally, what output this is going to provide? This is going to give the output as inside inner. So one thing you should remember, outer class method cannot access inner class members directly. If it needs to create or if it needs to access any of the member of inner class, it should be done only through the objects. So this is all about inner class. Next is a very important topic called garbage collection, and which makes Java different from other languages, which makes Java stand out. Why? Because no, we have nothing called dynamic memory allocation. Everything will be taken care by your JVM automatically. So there is no reference whenever there is no reference to an object, or the moment your JVM finds that the user have created three objects. Out of three objects, two objects are not used by the system anymore. So what happened? Your JVM is going to deallocate the space, which is going to delete. When there is no reference to an object, then that object is assumed to be no longer needed, and memories occupied by the object is going to be released. And so this is done by JVM. We need not to do this explicitly, so that we should remember. And garbage collection cannot be forced explicitly. We cannot do it. And if you want to do it, we can use a method called system.gc. So there is a method in system, and the method name is gc. But still, this does not guarantee that JVM is going to perform this. Okay, so let me make it clear. So garbage collection is nothing but deallocating the memory, or freeing memories are going to be released so that other objects, other data can use the memory. So this is done by the JVM automatically. We need not to do it manually. So next is about a method called finalize. Uh, as we just seen, when your system finds that some of the object which we have created is no longer used, what we do is, or what the JVM is going to do is, which is going to release the memory occupied by the object. Now, before the object gets destroyed, think that the object wants to do certain things. So these things will be done by a method called finalize. Before the object expires, before it gets deleted, before memory gets released, so what the object can do finally, which we can write inside the method called finalize. So this is going to be the syntax where you have to write finalize and what the finalize code is going to do it. So this is what the last chance for any object to perform uh, some task, normally which is going to be a cleanup utility. So this is going to be called before an object gets deleted, before what you call the garbage collection takes place. Okay, so let us see the other method called GC method. As I told just now, GC method is a method by which we can perform the garbage collection manually, but it does not guarantee that JVM is going to perform the garbage collection. There is still no this there is no guarantee. So only we can request JVM for the garbage collection. So let us see a small example where we'll have more idea about this. So we can see a class. Excuse me. We can see a class called test. So this is having the main method where I've created an object called t. T is an object, and t does not have any value. I just want to store nothing in the t. Now I call system.gc. System.gc is the method which is going to invoke, or which is going to perform the garbage collection. But before this is called, what happened? This is going to be the last method called by the method t. Even though we are not writing t dot finalize, this will be called where we are going to print the message garbage collected. For any job you want to do before the object gets deleted, the garbage collected will be printed. Afterwards, what happened? The garbage collection will be done. So we'll be getting an output like garbage collected. So please do remember what is GC, which is going to perform garbage collection manually. And before the garbage collection takes place, if you want to do any cleanup activities, anything to be done, so which could be done using the method called find